Hello, I'm Anil. I'm an R&D project manager. The electronic boards you see in my hand form the main controller of devices in many different sectors, such as computers, tablets, automation devices, and household appliances. Today, I'll talk to you about R&D project processes that include electronic board design, software, and mechanical design. Let's take a look at these processes together. Every R&D project is aimed at addressing a problem or solving an issue. Once the requirements and needs of our project are fully understood, we move on to the design phase of the electronic board. Our first step here is the hardware design of the electronic board. At this stage, a circuit topology that fits the project requirements and needs is selected, and the circuit blocks are drawn. Next, electronic components such as resistors, capacitors, transistors, and integrated circuits to be used on the electronic board are selected. The schematic design also forms the foundation for the subsequent stages of electronic board design, namely PCB design and production processes. After the schematic design is completed, the process moves on to the PCB design stage. Our first step here is pick and place, meaning the positioning of the components that will be placed on the electronic board is determined at this stage. This positioning process is carried out by taking into account IPC standards and the operating environment of the electronic board. After the components are placed on the electronic board, routing is performed, that is, the electrical connections are established. After the placement and electrical connections are completed, the performance of the electronic board is evaluated and the necessary requirement analyses for thermal management are carried out. Errors and possible deficiencies are identified and resolved in advance. Once the hardware design and PCB design of the electronic board are completed, the production files are generated. With the production files, the prototype you see in my hand is obtained. Next, electronic components are placed onto the prototype and the soldering process is carried out. After that, short circuit tests are performed. The power stages on the electronic board are tested by supplying power to the board. After the hardware design of the electronic board is completed, the software process for the board begins. This software, which we call firmware, runs on microcontrollers or other embedded systems. Firmware is a type of software that controls the basic functions of the electronic board and gives it functionality. It has functions such as reading data from sensors, processing this data, controlling motors, and managing communication protocols. The firmware development process is closely related to the hardware design of the electronic board. That's why, first, the necessary software analyses are carried out to determine the functionality of the electronic board. At this stage, it is determined which functions will be managed by the firmware and how they will be executed. In electronic board design, firmware is an important component and, since it gives functionality to the board, it is also a critical stage. Accurate and effective software directly affects the user experience, as well as the reliability and performance of the electronic board. Therefore, when designing the firmware for the electronic board, it should include careful planning, design, and testing processes. Firmware tests are conducted to verify whether the developed firmware works correctly and is compatible with the electronic board. Detecting errors during this process is extremely critical for evaluating the performance of the electronic board and ensuring the reliability of the final product. The mechanical design process is very important for the physical protection and assembly of the electronic board. In this process, the physical durability, ease of assembly, and overall aesthetics of the electronic board are taken into consideration. We are now with our mechanical design engineer, Mr. Osman. Hello, Mr. Osman. Good luck with your work. Could you tell us about the mechanical design processes?
In our mechanical design department, we design various products and test devices, and we do this using 3D design software on computers. Within this scope, products are designed and developed in accordance with manufacturing methods such as injection molding, sheet metal bending, and 3D printing. Using sheet metal bending, we design test devices and steps with different parameters on the computer, making sure they are suitable for manufacturing methods. After the manufacturing process, we carry out the assembly stages. Within the R&D department, we design enclosures to ensure the protection and insulation of integrated printed circuit boards, and we produce their prototypes in our R&D office. Especially for products we develop on the computer to be suitable for the injection molding production method, we operate their mechanical and electronic components in an integrated manner. In this system, which we have implemented by using the integration interface of 3D design and electronic design programs, we detail the designs of mechanical components and accelerate the process. During the new product design and development process, We carry out prototyping with a 3D printer, as well as design integration and validation studies. With the programs we use in this process, we carry out the preliminary preparation phase of the model that we will send to the 3D printer.
Thank you for the information you provided. Have a good day at work.
Thank you.
Today, I talked to you about the processes of an R&D project that includes electronic board design, software, and mechanical design. See you in other videos. Take care.